You are living once. It is your life. You make the choices, and you don't have to be with somebody who doesn't listen to you or change for you. Afraid of being hurt, and then they run and hide behind the cocoon that they create for themselves.
I'm taking care of myself. I don't need anybody. It's me against the world. I know best.
Everyone is out there to get me. At any time, I have to protect myself. I have to protect myself, and I am the only one who has to protect myself. Not trying to hold them and then grab them and suffocate them. It's not my child, and the child even doesn't know me, but it brings some great connection. Everyone starts smiling at that child.
Yes. I cannot survive without having a relationship with you.
In any relationship, however close, even mother and child and every form of relationship, there will be hurts, there will be misunderstandings, there will be all these expectations going wrong. I want my happiness, so even if I'm alone, it's fine.
Hello and welcome to the podcast Living Consciously. I'm Mihaela Nedela Perianu, and together with Rajesh Ramani, we are going to continue our conversations on living consciously. And today, the topic is trusting life. Now, we are all sensing, knowing, and experiencing that we are living in one of the best periods of history. Lots of abundance of resources, abundance of technology. Everything is one button away, one click away. However, this time of history is very much about isolation, very much about dealing with ourselves kind of alone. And Rajesh, I want to ask you, what is your view on trusting life in this time of history?
See, this is quite a pertinent question and a topic that we need to address. One of the primary reasons is all of these abundance that we are talking about, the choices that we have today in terms of engagement with more people, engagement with more things, entertainment, engagement with all the choices that we have, it has also driven us into a sense of isolation, because in many cases we don't have to cultivate stronger relationships. In the past, when you lived in a smaller town or a smaller village, your existence and your survival, and more than a physical survival, is all connected to your social connections, is all connected to people around us. So that circle was in most cases quite limited. And then so there was a greater investment in all those relationships, in all those systems that work around us. Now, as we have spread out into the world, and then there is a use and throw culture that we brought into the things first, and then also into relationships. Many of the relationships are so shallow. There is an inbuilt isolation that happens behind this. At the end of the day, when you shut off your phone, and when we sit in our flats, and then we think like, what am I doing? I'm all alone. So this feeling of loneliness has actually increased. And also because of the tremendous amount of changes that are happening. So many changes are happening around us, politically, socially, and technologically, as you said. And then the way we interact with the world is changing so much that trust is also getting broken. If you speak about politics, it's oscillating right to left, left to right, across the world.
But I guess that from the political point of view, it was always like this.
It was always like this, but it was moving much slower, and we are now bombarded with so much information. Everything is hitting us much harder.
Yes.
So there is not much time for people to sit and observe and acknowledge and look into the things. So because of this oscillation also, social oscillation, so everything, what is cool one day, it's not cool in 1 week.
Yes, things are moving very fast. This
Very
is
fast.
what you are saying.
Yes, because of that, our mindset has also moved into that space, that so many systems have also broken down. These family systems are breaking down across the world.
Yes.
Religion has broken down in many parts of the world. And then even technology is breaking down pretty fast. As much as it's reinventing itself, it's also breaking apart in the back end. So when we look at all of these things, there is a lack of trust that is happening, not only in terms of the political, social structure and everything, but even within individuals and between individuals.
My thought on this is that the thought is that somehow we do not have predictability. And that's kind of killing, because even with this thing regarding the AI, right? I mean, you don't know where it goes. We all talk about the fact, speaking about trust, we all want to have visibility, right? Certainty. So everybody talks about the fact that we have no clue how the world would look like in 5 years, from the professional point of view,
Yes.
from the AI point of view.
Yes.
You don't know what to study.
Yes.
As a parent, you don't know what to recommend to your kid, right? As a youngster, you don't know where to invest your education, your time, your energy.
Yes.
So yes, it's
Yes, that's why it is breaking down. So, and people cannot have so much certainty like the way that we had in the past.
Yes, yeah.
Things didn't change unless there was something like a war or a famine or something else. Otherwise, mostly things didn't change much. And whatever changes could be accounted for. But now, because of this, there is trust that is broken, and there is a lot of uncertainty that we feel as people around now. And how to manage this uncertainty is a very big question. So in a world where it is so uncertain, if we are trying to keep ourselves certain all the time, then we have to fill ourselves with all these things. But there is one way of finding certainty. That certainty is much more possible in relationships, in cultivating people.
Okay.
See, this has been
because you said that we are. Sorry for interrupting you. You said a word that is resonated a lot with me. That relationships are shallow.
Yes.
At the beginning, you said shallow, and
Yes.
that really resonated. Superficial.
Yes. Yes.
So a way of cultivating more trust in life is by cultivating more profound relationships.
Yes. Profound
Few
relationships.
people and quality relationships.
Quality relationships. It need not be 1,000 people, because it is impossible for an individual to cultivate trust or relationships at that level. And when you have these relationships which are much stronger, see, that is why I correlate this with the choices that we have. Because we have so much choices, we keep escaping from all these, the energy, the attention that we need to build trust in places, in relationships.
What do you mean?
That is, if I have to create a trusting relationship with you, because this is going to be nourishing me in the longer run.
Yes.
And if I don't have many choices to run away from this, then I will be forced, or in a way more focused in cultivating this relationship. What happens with all the choices and everything that is distracting us is, if I'm hurt with you for a moment,
You are running away.
I'm running away. I keep running around. And then I keep running around.
You can choose Netflix anytime.
I can choose
Just
Netflix. I can
joking.
choose so many other things. I've seen this in relationships, People come to me and then say, particularly people who live in big cities like London, New York, and then they say, oh, there is so much choice. So there is so much choice. As they have these so much choices, they have lesser commitment.
Yes.
And this leads to a lot of isolation, a lot of low confidence. And then at one point they say, I don't know how I can trust. So I have to protect my own space. So all of this becomes much more important. So trust takes a back seat. And even when they get hurt, immediately they go back into themselves and then draw that line around themselves to protect themselves. I'm not against protecting oneself and drawing boundaries, but if that becomes our default place all the time, then it leads to loneliness. So the healthy one would be to engage in life, to engage and opening up and interacting and building trustworthy relationships. And when we build that trustworthy relationship with people around us and the society and the systems and when we do that, automatically the confidence around oneself and the trust in oneself also gets built.
So what you are saying is that because of the times that we are living, we can go in two extremes, either being hyper independent or codependent. So what is the middle way?
See, we know the middle way.
These are the two extremes, right?
Exactly.
Hyper independent in the sense that I got it, I'm taking care of myself, I don't need anybody. It's me against the world. I know best, right? And it has a quality inside, assuming responsibility.
Yes.
But it's overused.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And then with codependent, it is a sort of helplessness, like I cannot survive without having a relationship with you, or I cannot be well if I don't know, AI will kick in. I don't know, something, right?
So
but no, it's based more on relationships. I'm dependent on making you happy so that I can be happy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So we tend to get caught up in these extremes. You know, both people are in both extremes are afraid of life. You know, one is posturing that they are much stronger about life and going about it, but they are so afraid of being hurt. And then they run and hide behind the cocoon that they create for themselves. The other set of people who are codependent also are so afraid. That is why people end up staying in abusive relationships longer than needed. And then they could have walked out, but then they don't have confidence in themselves. So they don't have trust in their own choices. You know, most people blame themselves for being in such places and then tell themselves like, I should have made better choice, but I can't do anything right now. So they turn it around upon themselves. So the self-confidence takes a beating. And on the other hand, self-confidence is exerted so much, inside it is broken. So inside they are so brittle that they have to safeguard themselves with too many boundaries. So that also leads to loneliness and also to a constant sense of paranoia about life. You know, everyone is out there to get me. At any time I have to protect myself. So it leads us to a defensive mindset around life. The middle path, as you know and I know, is interdependence. So that means we engage, we connect, and then we also have our boundaries. We are individuals in a connected space. You know, when we recognize that, then we have nourishment coming to us from different areas and different aspects of life. When we isolate ourselves too much, then I have to protect myself and I am the only one who has to protect myself. So that means nourishment is very less and it is so dependent on so many factors going right for me. And so this is where we are struggling as people. But we are also not ready to trust and invest because the biggest fear in life is if I trust, I may get hurt. What if I get hurt? If I get hurt, then the use and throw policy comes out. You know, if I get hurt with somebody, throw the whole thing out. You know, like the old saying, you know, the throwing out the baby with the bath water. So everything in or out, all in or all out. So with that mindset, it is not easy because in any relationship, however close, even mother and child and every form of relationship, there will be hurts. There will be misunderstandings. There will be all these expectations going wrong. But then we need to work around them. We need to work with them to re-establish this because this is the bigger web of life. In each one of our conversations here, we always touched one point, which is interconnectedness again and again and again. Because this is the fundamental of life. If we don't recognize that part of life, we are always going to be alone. We are always going to be scared. So even here, when we build trust, we need to recognize the interconnectedness of life. I was once running a workshop, and there were around 10 people in the workshop. And one point, a girl asked a question. We were talking about habits. We were talking about how to change our habits. So in that, the girl came up, like, my boyfriend has a habit wherein he goes to the bathroom, washes his hands with a soap, and then he leaves the soap all wet and, gooey. And every time I tell him about that, he says, yes, I'm sorry about that. But then he goes around doing the same thing. I don't know what to do. But because it makes me uncomfortable about that, I told him, like, clean the soap, keep it neat. He says, yes, he's a good person, but he either forgets or he doesn't bother about that after that. As we were having this conversation, one of the persons from the group, he said, like, break up with him. If he doesn't do what you want him to do, and you told him 4 or 5 times already about the soap, just walk away from this relationship. This is toxic. Then we both were really shocked, and I looked at him and I said, like, what are you saying? And then the girl was like, this is the tiniest thing in my life. So I'm just putting up some issue that could come up in life, which is true. Then the other person says, see, you are living once. It is your life. You make the choices. And you don't have to be with somebody who doesn't listen to you or change for you.
Oh, my God.
Now, I'm not changing a word in that conversation. And then I asked him the question, has it worked for you in your life? You are putting up a principle. Has it worked for you? And he says, like, yes, that's the way I live my life. And I didn't ask further, but then eventually we found out that he's been, his relationships are in a really bad condition over time. And then he's taken a stand, like, I want my happiness. So even if I'm alone, it's fine as long as I have my happiness, as long as I have my space. So, see, it may work for that person, but that person also is continuously breaking all bonds in all directions, because this is a hyper independent state, and this doesn't actually work very well.
Yeah.
And it is a stressful place to be. Some people may say, yes, I am comfortable in that place. I would say it is still a comfort without the freedom of movement. So without the freedom of being yourself, opening up. See, we as human beings thrive in connection. We as human beings want greater depths of connection. That's why we are not satisfied with somebody on Facebook with a like. And we want to get to know more. We want them to know us more. Then we want them to understand us without us telling them. Then we want them to see the deeper inner depths of ourselves and then connect with that. All of us seek this. Some of us find it, many of us don't find it. But we all have this deeper seeking. Find a new person to talk to, and then you would immediately go into, like, hey, where are you from? What do you like? What do you not like? Oh, I like that one too. So immediately we want to go into that space. And this is the reason why we go back to relationships again and again and again. In all forms, whether it is friendship, whether it is, at work, whether it is colleagues. In all forms, we want that. We are not robots.
Yes.
So this deep inner need actually
for a deeper connection
is the one that brings us a sense of being one with everything, because that is the expansion. We all want to be expanded, like a little child walks into a room full of people and the child doesn't see differences between them. And then the child is so happy, running from one person to another, laughing and smiling at everybody. We've seen those little children, even when we travel in a bus or a plane, and then these children walk across and look at each other's face, everybody's face, and then they keep smiling. What it brings to us, it's not my child, and the child even doesn't know me, but it brings some great connection. Everyone starts smiling at that child.
Yes, yeah.
So there is this connection. As we get older and older and older, we get hurt, we get scared, and then we keep pushing away these areas where we need to build trust.
Hyper-independent, interdependent, and codependent are also associated with the attachment styles. The codependent has an anxious attachment style, the hyper-independent has an avoiding attachment style, and the independent has a secure attachment style.
This is so important, because a secure attachment style is also a letting go attachment style. There is a lot of letting go happening in that space. So it's easy, we move. It's not out of non-commitment, but it's out of trust. One of the best relationships is, you let go and then you trust they would come back. Those relationships are the strongest relationships that we can establish.
Letting go of expectations of what? Letting go of what?
Letting go of, letting go of the person themselves, not trying to hold them and then grab them and suffocate them. This is what codependent people would do. They would grab them and then hold them and ask them every day, do you really love me?
Yes.
And then, and then look for micro expressions which could threaten them.
Yeah.
So this is one thing. The hyper-independent person, on the other hand, would keep on pushing. So, they are so careful about letting anybody closer.
Exactly.
So they keep pushing and pushing and pushing. So there is stress in both these relationships. In the interdependent space, what we do is we let go of people. You love me today, you give me joy today, and then people can't be giving joy 24 hours. So they step away into other aspects of life, or they step away into their own moods and into their own spaces. That is where we don't take it like, it's all like rejection.
Yes.
But we let them go.
It's not about me. It's about today you have a bad day and I'm having a conversation. I'm not making it about me.
Exactly. When we let go with awareness, what happens is people come back because they sense this freedom that we give them, and then they would want to come back into the space of freedom.
Yes.
So they would want. So when they do that, that is so fulfilling. It's so fulfilling when you let go and people come back, because that is where we experience that a trust that was shown towards us. I trusted you, you trusted me. So a relationship forms which is so fluid.
Yes.
Which is flowing. And that relationship can actually bear a lot of hurts or pain along its way. It's okay. But then we again and again give each other space, not space as a concept, space when needed, with the trust that you can come back and I can come back. So when such a relationship is established, it is not in one end of the story, or nor in the super independent, hyper independent space of the story, which is full of fear. So this is the dynamic that should play in individual relationships.
Yes.
And when it expands into the society around us, into greater spaces of interconnectedness that we see, life becomes actually enjoyable. That is why trust is really, really important, not out of an insecure place, but that is the way we engage with the world around us and get fulfilled about life.
We know that interdependence people, the people with a secure attachment style, are okay, right? Now, for the rest of us, how do we cultivate trust in ourselves, in confidence, in moving into the secure style, moving into that space where I have confidence in my decisions. I trust you, I trust me, and I trust life.
See, it is a step-by-step process, because we did not just land up into a non-trusting space just one day. It also happened over time.
Exactly.
We cultivated that space, and then we hid behind that space. So we created many relationships from that space.
Yeah.
And it could all have started from a hurt, or it could have started from our childhood space, where people who have not had stability when they were younger could feel a lot of trust issues, or people who have had a lot of commitment or engagement in a certain aspects or relationships, and when it breaks badly, they could have trust issues either with themselves or in trusting others around them, particularly in breakups after many years of being together. I've seen that people go through. One lady told me, after nearly 30 years of being in a marriage, and then the husband left her one day, and citing some reasons, and mainly blaming her for that. And she said, I've lived my life for my husband, for my children, all these years, to the extent that I've forgotten what do I like myself. And now, when it's all broken, more than being angry with him, I'm upset with myself. Because, one, how could I not see this coming? Two, how could I have made such a decision to live with this kind of a person all these years? So that means I cannot trust my decision. The biggest decisions in my life were so wrong. So how could I ever trust any of the decisions that I make in life? So she went into such place where her trust was broken and broken and broken about herself and around
life.
the world. Now she says, I have no future with any other man because
I don't trust men.
I don't trust men. So these are decisions we come across, and then we solidify them to protect ourselves. On the other hand, also on the codependent side, also people make decisions like, I made so many mistakes in life that I cannot do anything on my own. So I need somebody to protect me or to help me, to love me. So there also they make decisions.
Yes.
So the first step is to recognize how we are suffocated in this space ourselves. The loneliness of that space, the fearfulness of that space, and then the distrust that we have about ourselves and around anybody. So these are all walls that we create around ourselves that lessen the quality of our life and also our ability to be free. So the first step is to recognizing the pain point there, which is suffocation, which is loneliness, which is constant fear. So we have to recognize that. When we recognize how much it is reducing my life, then we look at then we take tiny steps to start cultivating our trust in areas where we feel safe.
Okay, I don't know, cultivating better relationships at work, for example. At the gym or wherever you have a hobby.
Yes.
Starting not with what can really hurt you.
Yes, but in a lighter steps.
Small
baby
risks.
Steps.
Yes.
And the main thing around cultivating trust is to learn to receive. We have to learn to receive. Somebody smiles at me and then okay, here it comes. It's going to go into the fullest extent and it's going to burst.
Yeah, the codependent is a very good giver by default.
Yes.
Empathetic people and giving so that they can receive. But they don't know how to receive without giving.
Exactly.
On the other side of the spectrum, it's like, no, I want to receive. I'm not giving anything.
Yes.
So, yes.
Yes. So they too have a problem with giving and receiving, because when people receive too much, they become vulnerable. So that is why they don't want to receive. So receiving well is one of the important things to develop trust. Receiving what is given. Okay, somebody is helping me. Take it in. I'm worthy of being helped. And then I respect what the other person is trying to bring. So this is where trust starts building. And then
Learning
we start giving on the other hand. So they build trust around us. So each step, even a smile can build trust. Two people walking across the street and then they look at each other. Initially, we don't know the person. The person could be big and large and, look rough. And then suddenly the person opens up a nice smile. The moment you would have seen how our body relaxes, and then there is something nice about that smile, like in a very maybe open way, or a nod which is so open. So immediately there is a trust, but that trust is for us to cross the road without kicking at each other. But that is enough. So these are all the signals that we need to read to re-establish trust. Small steps.
To be aware first of our, if you want, attachment styles, or just where we are. Are we rather codependent, hyper-independent? Do we have at least one relationship in our life where it's a give and take, an equal relationship, so to say, right?
Yes.
And then to start taking baby steps and cultivate relationships.
Yes, as
like
we
this.
cultivate these kind of relationships, all our assumptions around these points, which came from our past hurts or conditioning, they keep falling off. They keep falling off because they cannot be sustained anymore in the fresh flow of love, fresh flow of connection that comes in. This is nourishment, and it breaks down the old barriers and the old walls slowly and steadily. People who are afraid in codependent relationships, they are the ones who jump from one relationship to another immediately because they need that holding, that security.
They are scared of being lonely.
Exactly. But when
so they compromise a lot.
They compromise a lot, and then they pretty much end up in similar relationships because of that.
And same with the hyper-independent.
Exactly.
Yes.
If we are always focusing on a risk, and then we'll only be like risk avoidance managers, because that becomes the primary thing about life. But the primary thing about life is living life and feeling connected, feeling open, free, joyful. All of those things or expressions can come up only when we create that space. Otherwise, we'll be individuals sitting in a group. Then there is, at one point, the group opens up. I run these retreats, as you know very well. On the first day, when people from different parts of the world and their own lives come into and step in, they get introduced to each other, and then they are all sitting there we can palpably see that each one is in their circle. They are sitting in that circle, and they are like, okay, I'm here for my thing. And then as the day passes, the next day passes, they spend time either chatting in a group or having private conversations in dinners and free times and everything. And then over a period of time, at the end of the week, or even in a few days, we see this flowering of these individuals into one circle, and I found out in one of my recent retreats, they were exchanging information like contacts with each other. And then they were all putting this person's first name, and then they put the place where they are all meeting as a contact. It was beautiful. I say, like, usually in a business thing, you would like, what is your last name? That's what we would ask. Or what is your business name? Now, they had this shared space, and the space was holding them in a relationship. And in that space, they were so open. The best form of peace, best form of joy, best fulfillment happens when we can allow ourselves to be what we are. And that happens only when we establish trust around us and spread that trusting space wider. It is possible to expand this trust into the rest of life. When you expand trust into the rest of life, life supports you. See, one of the principles we always forget in feeling lonely or feeling isolated, particularly when we are scared or hurt, that we are interconnected and we are constantly being supported by life. If you and I are here sitting in this room with TB here, life has supported us in so many multiple forms all these years. Through people, through nature, through events.
Health, everything. Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
So we've been supported by life in so many forms without us noticing even.
Yes.
Because many of us have a tendency to notice what is wrong in our life and keep fixing it. Some of us, or sometimes we notice what is good in our life and fixing it, good in life and taking it. But some of those things we don't even realize. For the simplest example I would say is our body. we don't know most of the things that is happening in our body. All the processes that it takes us through. We just, when I want pizza, I put it in. When I want something else, I put it in. And then I say, like, as long as there is no pain, I think everything is going well. But some innate intelligence of my own body is trying to, address all these issues and keep the balance back again and again and again and again. And it complains only when it cannot. But so there is so much intelligence. So we should be eternally grateful for this body
Yes.
for
managing
itself.
Actually. And yes.
And if you see the earth, the world around us, and so many things, if we are sitting here and talking into this microphone, somebody did this. Somebody made this. Without the intelligence of that person or the group of people, we don't have this right now. So how our life, if you're taking this,
only this circumstance, and put it under this light of trusting life, it's a
freeing place, Mickey. It's a very freeing place. That is, we will not be so much scared as we are. I've had experiences in my life, so many, of life, just somebody coming into my life and then helping me out. Just out of the blue.
Yes, that happens. But this example that you gave, with us being here in our 50s, right? Tibi in his 40s, it's a proof that, life took care of us. We are alive. Number one, you flew from, I don't know which part of the world, from India, you went to Rome, you came here, and everything was life taking care of you.
Exactly.
Just to be still alive. And my body being healthy, your body being able to talk, to see, to express ourselves. And this is not something that we controlled.
Exactly.
It's actually not, it's not in our power. It just happened. What's in our power is to see.
Exactly. You put it so right.
The generosity of life.
Exactly. And this is where, when we recognize it more and more and more, then we who are holding on tight. It is like you are in a bus or in a train.
You get
and then
out
you
of
hold
scarcity.
On tight.
You get out of scarcity when you see, when you change the perspective.
Then we don't have to hold.
Yes.
We don't have to put all the sweets in our pocket so that we'll have it for tomorrow. And so this whole thing of possession, ownership, I'm not against, again, I'm not taking extreme stance on, you should not have any possession. Not.
No. We are talking about it differently.
The middle path, then the obsession around possession, the obsession around me and me-centered activities and attitudes, when it changes, so then there is a flow. Then we walk around life with least fear.
Yes.
Because we know everywhere and anywhere there is support that would walk up, that would come up to you. I've been trained that way. I used to be a monk for many years. And then, one phase of our life as being a monk, we were asked to go out and beg for food. And we have to go out and beg for food in places where nobody knows you. Not in the neighborhood where everyone knows who Rajesh was, but in places like, so I would take a bus. I didn't have money. I had money enough for a bus ride. And I would ask, like, okay, where does this bus go? And then get down in some place, walk into a village, and then knock on somebody's door and say, I'm hungry, could you give me some food?
Really?
Really.
Oh my God.
And
you did this for how?
Not much long, because we were so fortunate to be supported by so many people who would help us, who would feed us, who would open their doors for us. And then, that was so fortunate. And I cannot never forget all the people who have fed me in all these years. Like, I'm talking about 1,000 people or more in whose homes I have stayed. And, and that is why I can never unsee the trust, unsee the goodness in people's minds and hearts. Beautiful thing about that was Not in a single day have I ever walked away hungry. And somehow, in so many incidences, I would say in life, not that I'm waiting for it like, okay, you know what, I want this support, I want life to support me, I want to
But
check.
you know that it's there.
I know it's there. And if sometimes as a surprise it comes from some other place, sometimes it just happens as a matter of fact. So beautiful about life. And when you walk through life with that attitude of that I'm already connected, I'm already supported. I don't want us to say like, oh, some will take care of me tomorrow. No. Or I go about this and then at some point God will intervene or somebody will intervene. No. I trust because it has already happened, not on the trust that will happen tomorrow.
This is called existential trust, I guess.
Yes.
Like existence will take care of me, and it's an inner knowing without needing any proof, because you look back and you check your ID, you check your watch, you are still alive, so life works.
Exactly.
And that's it.
This is the beauty of life. I'll tell you one more example. And I met a girl who had a lot of mental issues, and she was overcoming them over time and working on herself, and she was much better, very better from where she was earlier. And when I met her, we wanted to take it further into the next step. She wanted to learn meditation and everything. But she started telling her story. At one point she told she was so depressed about life and she wanted to kill herself. So she locked her door and everything, and then she went fasting. And at one point she took some medications or something. And then she became so weak that she cannot help herself. And she had a cat. Eventually, she went into such a state, she was going to die in whatever form. The cat got hungry. So the cat got hungry and it was not being fed, and it knows she was here in the house. So it came and attacked her. It first asked her for food, maybe day 1. Day 2, it was like, trying to scratch her. Day 3, it really, really attacked her. It attacked her viciously to get food. She had to crawl out of her bed to give food to the cat. And in that moment when she gave food to the cat, she found one purpose for her life: to be alive. And she told me that purpose, that connection with my cat, that thing changed my life completely.
Yeah, this brings me to the story that you said in a different episode regarding what's the difference between heaven and hell. That in heaven, we have to say, in heaven and in hell, we have food, we have the big spoons.
Yes.
But in heaven, the spoon is for you.
To feed the other.
Yes. And that keeps me alive.
Exactly.
So that's the thing. That's the cat, the other human or non-human. Yeah.
Yes. So we can, if we are in this, connected in this web of life, and we recognize that, it's not like you have to connect yourself again. Whatever is happening, we are already connected. It's just that we forgot that we are connected.
Yes, it's just acknowledging, being aware that we are connected.
Exactly.
Yes.
When we establish this, it is like then all these layers open up, and then you see this connection, and that is confidence, that is strength, courage, everything.
Yes.
That is why it is very, very essential.
Just changing the perspective.
Completely it changes the perspective from being a single, alone, lonely person into the world which already is. I know people are in different spaces in this, they have different challenges in this. But when we start opening ourselves up step by step, it is some place where we can actually be.
Great perspective. Thank you so much, Rajesh, for sharing your thoughts and helping us to see from a totally different angle life and the web of life and trusting life. Thank you so much. We really hope that this episode will be very, very useful for you and will add up in the sense of making you more connected to to life. We kindly ask you to subscribe to Mindfulness and Beyond, where you will see Rajesh and Smita's wisdom shared there at their YouTube channel. And that's for the international audience, as I keep saying after each episode. And for the Romanian audience, please subscribe to the podcast Întrebări care ne schimbă viața. Until next time, take care and be well.